helt sykt. Han ville ikke stoppe, jeg hadde inn dødknappen, jeg måtte bare...
Ja, du måtte sette han i første?
Nei, jeg rakk det ikke. Det var scary spice. Fy faen. Hæ?
The reason why I am shaking like a leaf in this clip here is because when I turned my camera off in the last tunnel, I put it down into fourth gear, pulled up to about 100 kilometers an hour, and right at the end of the exit of the tunnel there is a big bridge about 80 meters high, and there is no hard shoulder. And just as I was climbing the hill over the tunnel, I'd missed my petrol stop because I didn't I was a bit engaged, and I just kept going past the petrol station I was supposed to stop at because I just wanted to get those miles done. I had about 1.5 litres in a tank, but because the tunnel here is on a steep incline, it's all sloshed to the back of the tank, and I ran out of petrol. What happened then, consequently, was the revs rose to as high as they can possibly go. I think probably about 8,500 revs or something like that. I pulled into the side of the road. I had loads of big lorries behind me on their way to Oslo, and no hard shoulder. So pulled into the side of the road. The revs were 8,500 revs, and I could not stop the engine however hard I tried. The only way to do it really would be to take the plug off, take off the panel. But anyway, it lasted what felt like eternity, probably about half a minute. And John in the bus, he had nowhere to stop, so he carried on. And what he ended up having to do, I jumped off the scooter. When it stopped abruptly, it sounded like it ceased. It was quite a nasty noise when it stopped making the racket. I jumped onto a railing, 80 meters high. These big lorries were passing quite close beside me at 90 kilometers an hour. I was scared to death, to be honest. Once I got a small break in the traffic, I jumped physically on the scooter, took off one of my reserve tanks, the fuel friends, jumped back on the railing, screwed on the nozzle, waited until some more trucks had passed, jumped down on the scooter, filled it up halfway, and then there's some trucks came back on the railing, and this carried on for about 10 minutes. And then when I've finally fueled up the scooter, I managed to start it again and be on my merry way. John phoned me up, told me he was at the petrol station. It was only about 6 kilometers down the road. And when I got to the petrol station, it was a mix of the fact that it was pretty cold this morning, and I was shaking from the adrenaline rush. Luckily for me, the scooter started first kick again, so I hadn't seized it. And I reckon that's also a testament to having good oil. I use Castrol, by the way, Castrol TTS, and a testament to the build quality of the sledgehammer. Right, let's carry on.
Står der.
Skal vi se. Fy faen, Jan, det var skummelt.
Ja, men du må jo følge planen. Sett den foran min.
Det var så nærme.
Jeg så jo det.
Fy faen, det var jo ikke en halv skute engang. So I had this like vibration noise, and what I noticed was on Instagram was that I've got a screw that's fallen down there at some point. Look at that. Pesky thing. So it's officially stop number. This is stop number 3, but officially stop number 4 because I missed the first one. I think I'm gonna have a little bit to eat and something to drink, I reckon. I've got no idea what time it is. Panel off, that's a breakdown, eh? Let's have a look. Oh, it's 10:30. That's good. So we're right on track. Right, my lovelies, we're over halfway. It's quite a bit treacherous actually, that's last bit of road there. Lots of logging wagons coming in the opposite direction. It's a bit of a pain. But, well, Valdres, button. If you're going to do a tourist thing and come here, don't. It was so expensive. A can of Coke and a sandwich, 155 krona, was that, a tenner? Something like that. John is really rushing for some strange reason. Reason why I turned you on now is I've saved my microphone battery, so hopefully I'll be able to film when we go over these mountain passes, which is not long until we start doing that. This thing is going great guns. I have to say my beeline is working really well as well. Edamuli. Only 80 kilometres I think to the next stop. He's just got no patience, John. I can see he's waving his hands about. So the last maybe I have to turn the petrol on, Rob. Fuck me, what an amateur. The last 2 hours we've done 430 kilometres, about 320 left for today, that is. Sledge is doing really well, touch wood. Good girl, good girl. So the last couple of hours I've had just this basically. Forests. Forest roads. The odd lake. It's not boring, but yeah. You get a little bit jaded living over here. By the views, I think. Speed limit is 80 here, so I'm doing 85. And we've been keeping that. We've been keeping good speed actually, I reckon. And what I'll do now is turn on the camera when I get into something spectacular. I know you foreigners like your tunnels. This one certainly doesn't, it's going slower. It's a Swede. It's starting to get a little bit more hilly now as we go down to the town of Fagernes in Valdres National Park. Nice. Hey, they say hello, nice. Hey, that was the first one. I've done over 400 kilometers. The first biker to say hello. Oh, my arse is hurting. That's what it deserves to hurt at this point. This isn't Fagernes, by the way. Fagernes is in 25 kilometers. I've got a feeling there's another tunnel coming. And yes, I am correct. Just don't run out of petrol inside him. Oh, it was cold in here. Shit, man. My visor is steaming up as well. It was really cold in here. This is horrible. I can't see a fucking thing. This is the tunnel from hell. I wonder if we're going uphill or something. This is not fun. Yeah, I think we're going uphill. kid you not, it is absolutely freezing in here. My ears popped. It's a steep hill, that's why. Just looks completely flat when you're inside. That was horrible. Whew. You see Cheeky John, he went past me there. Just wait until we get to the mountains. Just climbed about 600 feet and I hope the GoPro captures this. Snow-capped mountains. We're going over there. I'm really looking forward to it, to tell you the truth. Ja, skulle jeg hive inn en nå mens vi stopper?
Hiv inn en.
En kanne, jeg tror jeg gjør det.
Det er 6,5 mil til jeg tror du kan få fylt.
6,5, ja, så jeg tror jeg bare hiver inn. My microphone died, my camera died. We are now up at Valdres 1200 meters over sea level. There's a famous mountain, don't know what it's called. I think we look smashing up here, but these roads are goddamn bumpy, so I'm gonna film on the way down again, but yeah, just with the camera sound, which is a bit shit. What I'm gonna do now is we are halfway to the next to last stop, next to second last stop. I'm going to stick one of these jerry cans of mine up in there, because this is it's a long trek. Yeah. Probably have to put a voice over or something. It's a bit windy. Jo, faen meg
Det er 12 timer, det har vi sittet i bilen. Du har kjørt 12 timer. Mer enn 12 timer har du kjørt.
Det var 70 km med fucking 4-stalveier. Satan, jeg kjenner det i ræva. Det er humper og Er det jævlig gode demper på den?
Han gikk ned i en gang. Så er det laget sånn lyd. Er huet mitt?
Nei, heldigvis ikke. Aerodynamikken er ikke sånn insect-friendly.
Jeg ble litt lei nå. Jeg ble litt sånn lei. Det var litt kjedelig da.
While the rest of the footage rolls, this is what I got. This one was for you who like the POV riding videos that I make. I know there's a few fans out there. Actually, myself, I find it a little bit boring, but it was good to reminisce while I was strolling through this footage and not clipping out too much, so you can see these beautiful mountain passes that we rode over. Thing is, the reason why I did long distance to Oppdal, which is just 110 kilometers away from Trondheim, where the rally was, is because I didn't want to stress on the Friday. I just wanted to get up, and that's what I did as well. So this day I rode from my hometown to Oppdal. I rode 763 kilometers. I had a maximum speed of 100 kilometers an hour. Bear in mind that we had the van behind us. It was pretty good going, I reckon, and twisty roads. The wind was actually quite horrendous, both up and down, I can report. And that does play havoc with at least my brain. And moving time, 10 hours and 50. Average speed was 70. I think that's pretty good, actually, to be honest. But anyway, got up, had breakfast, stayed at this hotel, had breakfast, met up with the guys from Gjøvik, and I was going to ride with those. And then when I was pushed the scooter off the little bit of veranda that I'd hidden it on, there was a load of petrol underneath. Unfortunately, my fuel tank had split, but I was really, really lucky. About 11 o'clock, found out that my fuel tank had split and it was dripping. I actually found a mechanical workshop and a lad that could weld aluminium. So I pulled out the tank, got that welded, put the tank back in, filled it up, and I was ready to go at 5 to 12. It was going to leave at 12, so it didn't affect the schedule. I then rode up to Trondheim, which is a pretty boring road, to be honest. And that was 110 kilometers, like I said. And I had an absolutely smashing time at the rally. It was brilliant. It was nice to meet up with the guys from Finland. Finally, a couple of them are Facebook friends of mine, and we have talked together, or texted, or whatever you want to call it. Nice to meet new faces. The band was cracking. I'll throw in some clips as well while I'm talking. And ride out was absolutely fantastic. 50 kilometer round, or 60 kilometer actually, round the big lake in Trondheim, and it was just beautiful scenery, great weather, really lucky with the weather. And then it came to ride home again. I rode home together with the ladies and gents from Gjøvik Scooter Club. In there we've got a bike club called Vespa Eaters. Big shout out to those ladies. They will run the backup van. The reason why I'm going to shout out the backup van is the fact that I'd ridden about 200 kilometers and I got yet another split in my tank. So it was a nightmare. So you threw the scooter in the backup van. We rode 100 kilometers, and then one of the Vespas that we were really backing up, that broke down. Beautiful GS 160. The clutch, something with the clutch. We tightened up the wire. It didn't help anything. So we had to pull out the lady that drives the van. She has a GTS, so that came out of the van. I got on the GTS. I rode the last, I think it's like 130 kilometers or something like that, from Rene to Gjøvik. And Peder, who I rode down with, he was extremely kind. Him and his wife and his son, Bro. I really can't thank you enough. They let me stay the night. I took out the tank the day after. We found yet another mechanical workshop, welded that up, and that actually held all the way home. I think either it is due to poor welding, some sort of, I don't know, I'm not a welding expert, but it cracked right on in the middle of the welds. The sledgehammer does vibrate quite a bit. Maybe more than, definitely more than like a scooter like the RT. But yeah, so what I think I'm going to have to do with that is rubber mounting. That's a video, rubber mount the tank or something. That's a video to come in the future when I get my new tank. Got one on guarantee, by the way. And I then proceeded to ride from Gjøvik to my hometown. I set up my beeline, so that went on fun roads. I set off at 2 o'clock, which was quite late, but I just went over a couple of niggles and stuff on the scooter, make sure that everything is fine, and it rode absolutely fine. I didn't get a leak, didn't get any problems whatsoever, and I really, really enjoyed the ride down. I'll throw some photos, and you can see the type of roads I was riding on. It was basically the middle section. It was like 489 kilometers or something like that from Gjøvik to home, and I got maybe 250 of just corners, switchback, hairpin turns, the tail in Volkswagen that never disappoints. I had such a nice ride, and I was going on holiday the day after. Just the fact that in my head, every kilometre that was getting close to the home was a kilometre easier to go and pick up the scooter without having to use my insurance and get rescued. So at the end of the day, I had a great time. I did 1,603 kilometres this weekend, and yeah. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one.